Hi, welcome. This is the Bounty Puck, our Mandalorian review show, and I did this last year, this kind of review, but just by myself. But I have a couple more guests this time, and James Hobson is with me, also known as James H. James Creative on Instagram, and he is an artist. He is a part owner of and founder as well of the Moore Art Gallery, and he knows Star Wars pretty well. He has some cool stuff in the background, as you can see, and he did some very cool illustrations before. So he will do this with me every week, and also every week we will have another guest. And this time we have the collector, DJ, record label owner, Marc Hype. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Salute to the Mando.
That's right. This is the way. This is the way, my friends.
This is the way.
We're gonna jump right into it. So the first episode of season 2, it's called Chapter 9, The Marshal. It is written and directed by Jon Favreau, and the episode length is 55 minutes. I think this is the longest episode we had before. So what do you think? Did you like the shorter episodes we had before better, or is this the way?
This is the way. Longer.
It should be always that long.
Should it be? But
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, it was really bad. And when the second episode was just 30 minutes or what, everybody was like, what the heck? What's this?
That's true. I mean, and speaking of the second episode, there's a lot of similar material in this episode, but stretched out a little bit longer. But how do you in context, in terms of the story of the episode length, is that what did you like that? And because it had a lot of like in the meantime we had a lot of travel.
I think it's like introduction to the second season. It's like, so he got his new thing to do. He got his order to find another Mandalorians, and that they help him out to find Yoda species. So it's like, it's just friends to go on Tatooine and looking for another Mandalorian, right?
Okay, but I mean, he had a lot of talkings and sittings by the fire.
That's what he does. That's what Mando does.
Sitting by
that's
fire.
his speciality. He sits down, talks next to fires, and
Okay.
and then goes traveling.
That's the Mandalorian lifestyle. But this episode, as I mentioned, it's called Chapter 9, The Marshal, and Chapter 9 it's not like it's different from what we expect from other shows. It would say Season 2, Episode 1, but Chapter 9 basically continues our story from Season 1. Do you like this kind of way, or would you have liked it more if it's something different and not overall arcing?
I personally like this. I think one of the things you could say about the first season was that it left so much stuff that was just unanswered. And you'd get an episode with one character you wanted more on. Mm-hmm. And then it would be 2 or 3 episodes of, they would disappear. So setting it out with chapters that seem like they could be a long, drawn out, well, not drawn out, but a big overarching story, it allows these characters to kind of pop in. And then you think, well, there's going to be quite a few chapters more. Your third season's already been confirmed. Mm-hmm. So I think this is the way to go. This is the way.
Mark, your thoughts on it?
It's a journey. I mean, he's still looking for what he can do with his life, and he got a kid now. So, I mean,
exactly. I mean, he's a very good parent, or not? What are your stance on parenting?
I mean, you haven't seen parenting at all, almost in this episode. So he just had him with him, and he stays with him where he goes. That was all what parenting was in this episode. He did better before, so I guess he will come more next episode. But in this one, there was actually just looking for another Mandalorian, and it was just not there actually.
Yeah.
Bad parenting.
Bad parenting. I think
exactly. Yeah, bad parenting on this episode. Maybe we should do that each time.
Just danger again, all over.
But I'm going to jump right into people. This is a spoiler show, so if you haven't seen the first episode, don't go further than this. And we're going to jump right into the spoiler territory, because in the beginning, when we speak of parenting, he is in like an underground, like some underworld planet, and it's like underground fighting scene or something like that. And he meets Gor Koresh, who is played by John Leguizamo. You all know him from like comedy stuff and like John Wick. He was the mechanic dude on John Wick.
Yeah. It's Romeo. He's in Romeo and Juliet.
Exactly.
That's
Where he's also from. Yeah. So he's in there, and they are all in this really cool fighting pit with the Gamorreans. Those guys you know from Jabba's palace. They are the guards, but they look slimmer than usual.
They're trained.
Yeah, exactly. Not like Jabba's guards.
but tell me why they're still fighting so bad. It looks like Kenobi fighting in New Hope.
But
like, what's that?
But that's what we love, and that's what what we like to see, don't we?
It's weird. With 2020, they could do dope moves, but they're just really looking like sumo ringers with first-time axe in the hand.
Yeah, but by the way, I like the touch on the vibro axe, because this time it was really vibrating. They did a good job on that, and yeah, but they mentioned that scene when Gor Koresh asked him, "You always go with the kid here. You bring it everywhere." And then the Mando says something, and then basically saying that he's seen worse. So this is our part of bad parenting here. So is he doing better than season 1?
No,
not at all.
But he have no chance either.
What's that?
He got no other chance either.
That's true indeed.
You have to take it with him. You saw what happens if you put him somewhere. Always bringing trouble.
Exactly. There was also in the beginning of the scene, we had the graffiti. I pulled up the graffiti, and the graffiti you can see, it's very dark in this place, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and you can see stormtroopers crossed out, like the snow trooper maybe from Empire Strikes Back, and then you might see also 3PO in there. Or maybe it's Gollum.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's supposed to be.
Nah, that's 3PO for sure.
What are your thoughts on connecting this to the universe?
It's cool. It's a bit of a callback to like Rebels, where you see that kind of quite a lot early on. There's like graffiti around and anti-Empire stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's cool. I think it's a nice. I guess when they were making it, they knew what Star Wars fans were like, and they knew that they would like pause these little things and have fans like look at the graffiti and see who they could see.
Yeah.
So I think it just shows the love and care that goes into making these things, and it's definitely a Filoni thing for sure.
Mark, did you watch Rebels?
No, I don't like this type of how they are like scripted. Like this style of cartoons I don't like. So I never watched, even not Clone Wars.
Okay, but I tell you, you should. It's really, really good.
Now,
it's really good, man. But this is in Rebels, because there's this character called Sabine Wren, and she does graffiti, for example. She's also a Mandalorian, and she had for some time, she had the Darksaber, which we see at the end of season 1, and wielded by Moff Gideon. And I wonder if she also, or if this was like a reference to her, and if she's going to come up in this season for Mandalorian, or if she actually did some graffiti on those walls. That would be very interesting to see. And also the beginning of all of this is in the trailer, so we're not spoiled by the trailers, mostly episode 1 stuff, as I figured. And by the way, I really love those little monsters in the dark, which are maybe Fernox or whatever they called. I tried to find it out on Wikipedia, because like some other smart people know even more than I do, and all of us combined. But I really like those that he set up. The guy, Gor Koresh, and basically gave them for those little things. And let me pull up the scene here in the concept art. They have this very cool concept art of it, and it looks different from what they did in the movie, but in the show. But I really dig the vibe they put out here. Did you think it was fair and for this guy to die?
It's tough. It looks like a tough place to live, to be honest. Like, it seems like it's probably going to happen pretty regularly, this kind of thing.
But interesting on that part is that when you look at the Mando and what his armor means to him, in terms of, but what it also means for the outer world, especially the Outer Rim characters we have there. We have the this idea that they try to get, or like this guy probably has seen other Mandalorians and like took their armor away from them, which is very holy, which we will find out later on in this episode. And that is also the connection here, that when he basically finds out that the Mandalorian, or a Mandalorian, is on Tatooine, and he wonders, who's that? I've been there. I have not known anyone. And so this is basically the second scene that he comes to Tatooine. Amy Sedaris, who plays Peli Motto, she is there and talks to him. And the funny thing is that she wants to buy the child. Doesn't everybody want to buy the child?
she can get the hot toy. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, she could.
I bought.
Mark,
I bought one.
you bought one. You got the life size, or which one?
No, yeah, almost. The very first one. It's actually half size, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, my life size version is gonna come next week if I'm lucky. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it should. They said it's gonna ship soon, and I saw that Collider.com, they had the chance that they got already one sent to them, so it must be really soon. It seems like they're in the warehouse, so I will have my maybe next episode or the one after latest. I will have the child next to me while we're doing this. But yeah, that's really too cool, and really cool to see that she is like really into that, and the way she treats it, like, even if it has offsprings, and wants to get one. And also what we could see there is that the Mando was way easier with the droids.
Yeah, that's because of the IG unit from before. He was a good lifesaver and a good friend in the end.
Yeah, but do
So he's got more trust now on the road.
Yeah,
not every bad, kind of.
do you guys think that IG is gonna come back in some sort of way?
I hope so, but it will not happen. I think he's just part of this lava now.
True, but maybe a rebuild, who knows, or something like that. And but
The engineer is there too.
what's that?
The engineer is there too.
Yeah,
And this-
that's true. Okay.
There's nobody who rebuilt that. No.
But IG-88, we don't know if he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new era now. It's a different canon, right?
Yeah, I wonder. I mean,
That's why we don't know.
didn't we see Bosk at some point in the first season? Wasn't Bosk in there in some bar in Tatooine?
Yeah, I think so.
Supposedly, yeah.
No, I think that he was there as in a corner or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was some.
so maybe
David put a lot of stuff from the old trilogy in, of course. Did anyone recognize in Tatooine when he's landed the droid?
R5. You mean?
Yeah, the R5D4.
R5D4, right?
The R5 as
Yeah,
well.
probably right. That's the one who had a bad motivator. Or what was it?
Yep,
Yeah.
right. Exactly
I
that
think
one.
it is. I think it's confirmed.
It's
like,
the one.
'cause
Yeah, it's like
confirmed.
it's got a little from an explosion, the little blacks there on top.
Yeah.
So it's extra made for that, and us freaks watching that close and
Yeah.
checking that it's actually that one.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I thought it was really cool, like seeing that and like having that continued, especially since it's on Tatooine, and this one has such a vital role in terms of R2 and C-3PO getting
Yeah.
together. So that was really cool. After the scene when he landed and talked to Amy Sedaris, he was on the move. He moved to Mos Pelgo, which is like a city somewhere between, what was it, Mos Eisley and Mos Espa? Like somewhere around the way. And as I mentioned before, it had like a long travel scene. We saw a lot of landscape, and he come into that city. I wonder again, how did you like the way he approached it? It was very, very Western, like a Western trope in that way.
That's a spaghetti
Yeah.
western in space, of course.
Yeah. And are you okay with that? I mean, also with the like, because I can definitely see all like the horse riding that took place in this beautiful landscape, basically, but it's like very bleak in terms of that, since it's a desert and all. But it looked really cool, and I wondered if how they filmed it. If they filmed it with the video wall and had him like actually sitting there.
Yeah, definitely they do all that now.
Yeah.
That's the new thing. That they introduced that kind of now and made a big deal out of it too. So definitely it will be made like that.
What I was wondering is what because we had so much time traveling. What is the Mando thinking while he travels?
Shopping list.
But what is he gonna shop?
For another Mandalorian.
Hey, let's get those Mandalorians when I see him a present.
Could be the other one because he knows probably from he got this one section with all the other Mandos, and he left them with the child for finding, but then he asking if there's more of us, and they know that there's small sections all over the place in the galaxy, but that if there would be one section, he probably would know, or like the highest would know, right? So then just one single vendor is like, why nobody heard that? Why he's not doing anything? Usually,
but
they hide, but they're still doing something to make money, for example.
Yeah, but also like looking at this at the perspective from season 1, where he was the only one basically going out and having like
from his section actually. John.
What's that?
From his section, he was the only one who's
yeah,
going
exactly.
out.
So maybe that could be also, if you find one, you find more. From this perspective. And when he gets to Mos Pelgo, he meets W. Earl Brown, aka as the Weequay proprietor, and this is the bar guy in a very cool costume. So W. Earl Brown, he's from SNL Live. He did a lot of sketches there. So also a comedian. I mean, there's a long line of comedians, SNL comedians, who have been or had cameos on The Mandalorian, which is really cool to see. And at this bar, we can also see like when he basically rides into town. We have also another cameo, which is by Sam Witwer. He's like around 13 minutes and 17 seconds. He's to see. And Sam Witwer, for the people out there that don't know him, he is the guy who spoke Starkiller for The Force Unleashed for the video games, and he's also the voice of Darth Maul. And he spoke in the TV show, and in the Clone Wars, and in episode 1. So he had a cameo, which is really cool. I like him. He's a knowledge. He has so much knowledge about Star Wars. When he takes part in the movie Trivia Schmodown, like when he had the time to do that. It's like a movie trivia show, but just only for Star Wars. And he was the champion for a long time, or at least, I mean, I watched those episodes, and every question they threw at them, he basically knew every answer. It's crazy. It was crazy. Just some minor details. I think there was one question he got wrong, which was like, from this and this Star Destroyer, who was the captain who said this and that? And then he got this one wrong. He mixed it up with a different one, but it was crazy interesting to see. What they all know about Star Wars. Yeah. But coming to town, he actually meets Timothy Olyphant's character, which I really, really enjoyed. And first time we meet him, what was your reaction when you first saw him? He still had a helmet on, I say that.
It actually was a Western saloon scene, first of all, and then on the first view, I haven't even recognized Boba, because I just seen like it was just half a Mandalorian, kind of, what's that? And then in the second view, it was like, oh shit, no, shit gets wild. Then everybody was like, you saw like the small Boba details with the yellow and the colors itself.
Yeah.
You see that's actually parts of Boba's armor, and it was like, okay, now it's getting interesting. Now they have a good story twist.
Yeah,
and you still didn't know about the end. That's the other point. So you just thought, okay, somebody whatever did with the Sarlacc and put stuff out. I don't know.
Yeah, that was my thinking was first before I saw the ending. I was like, oh, interesting. So this is how they write out Boba Fett. This is basically the story end of Boba Fett.
And somehow it was totally clear that it's not Boba.
Yeah. I mean, just by looking,
he was too tall.
Everything didn't fit. Like, it was kind of like intriguing when he came into the bar. Like, it looked like someone had dressed up
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
Boba Fett, like at a bad Halloween party or something.
Yeah,
Like,
cosplay,
everything
yeah.
just looked quite wrong.
He was
you
too
know?
skinny for my taste as well. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, tall and skinny, right.
And yeah, but like the moment, I love the moment when he. This is also a sign that he's not Boba Fett. He took off the helmet, put it on the table.
That was the scripted sign
He
for
had perfect hair as well. That's the thing with Timothy
Yeah,
Olyphant.
he was damn good looking.
It was like, here I am.
I love it, by the way, that that they had like the spatchka from episode 4 came back, that they drink the blue drink. That was really fun to see.
Yeah.
And and seeing that and seeing the helmet with the dent in it. I mean, the dented helmet is the sign for Boba Fett. Where? Oh no, I have mine too far away. I have an extra spare one for my figure, like behind me. Notice Obi-Wan, but there he is. This little guy. It's the mythos Boba Fett. So yeah, but love Timothy Olyphant. I also like the way he played it, and he put like his sheriff style on. Because he played so many sheriffs, or like some kind of police enforcement agent to some sort in all his movies and TV shows, and he brought it perfectly. And also, I really liked his redemption of himself, like being a coward, fleeing the town, but then going back to save him, because he grew up on Tatooine, and he knows what's good, and tries to do the best he can there. What are your thoughts on how did you like Timothy Olyphant?
Pretty much perfect. Like I thought he was just. I just wanted to see more and more of him, to be honest. And like I thought he had really, really good chemistry. Like him and Din. It was just great. I mean, I could watch for 55 minutes of just them, which it practically was. But he carried it. And I hope that he comes up again, like in the series.
It sounded.
There'll be a waste if not.
It sounded like it, right? Mark, what are you thinking? How did you like him?
Well, pretty good. He was pretty good casted for that. Like it just fit perfectly for that situation, what they wanted to tell.
Yeah.
That the only guy strong enough to secure this little town. But then with the crate is a different story, but just against other like Tuscans. So and he also figured out how to work out with the Mandalorian armor. I mean, like you see later how he's working it out with everything. Like he's maybe not built in the ways of the Mandalorian, but he can work out the armor of it.
Yeah.
So he's not like just putting it on and want to like scare people.
Yeah.
He really.
I also love the scene that like this kind of toy moment, because we all know that the Kenner figure where like not suitable for children, and we see when he bends over and shoots the rocket this way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a choking hazard for crate dragons. That's what I thought is going to happen.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Timothy Olyphant's character is called Cobb Vanth, and he has been first in the Aftermath booked by Chuck Wendick. And the story he tells there is very similar. There's a couple details that are missing, and but I think that the overall gist, how he gets the armor, is in there. And I really, really enjoyed the way they tie in the books now, even. So it's like really, we get the feel of a universe. And I think Dave Filoni especially and Jon Favreau, big fans, I guess, of the whole universe. And I think they did a great job tying those in. And that's a really cool point. And the way they grow together really got me excited in terms of, in the end, when the Mandalorian also fights the Krayt Dragon and basically puts his life on the line and tells the Marshal, hey, take care of the child. So that's his main concern. We can see that back. But before we're gonna get to that part, I wanna come back to the idea of the armor again, because I think you can see it really well here, that how much the armor means and what it means to other people as well, especially on the Outer Rim. I mean, as we just mentioned, he got the armor. He knows how to take care of it, and I think that is like giving the people that live in the Outer Rim some security in terms of the town, but also scare other people. And maybe the Tusken Raiders seen this armor before. Maybe they know what's up. And that's really interesting, and we will point that out later when we have the big spoilery finale of this episode.
I mean, Tusken's so long around, they're pretty much behind the scenes all over.
Yeah.
You know everything what's going on, but they just seen it from far away. But they know something what happens all over Tatooine.
Yeah. When they moved on and they went to find did they want to find the Yavas, or who did they want to find? I forgot. When they went on the move, did they want to find the Tuskens right away, or did they want to? No, never mind.
Quest.
Never mind.
Was it Tuskens first?
No, the crate dragon comes first, obviously.
Yeah, they went to the cave.
Yeah,
And then the Tuskens showed up.
exactly.
First, the dogs or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dogs, Tauruses from them.
Mastiffs or something?
Not Mastiff. I think that's the dog. I think they're only Mastiffs. Mastiffs. Yeah, exactly. That's what they're called. And
That's where they got it from. They got it from
yeah,
Mastiff,
I know.
sure.
It was like exactly. But they are also part of on Geonosis in episode 2. The Geonosian have them as the guard dogs as well. Those Mastiffs. It's not their first time showing up in the Star Wars universe, so that was really interesting.
Oh, all right.
And but my question was, while they're going there, they went there with their speeders, and we see Cobb Vanth has this pod racing engine, and it looks so much like Anakin's pod racer.
Isn't it already confirmed, kind of? I mean, it looks so close.
Yeah, it's not confirmed officially, but it's a very, very much a nod in this direction. What do you guys think? Did you like that? And the way it was, I also think that's a very cool speeder bike.
It was like very typical for Tatooine.
Yeah, very very Tatooine. That's right.
or like the Jakku style too. You know, that's desert style, and putting everything what langs around together is something that works.
Yeah.
Cooking from scratch.
Yeah, that's the thing. It works on Tatooine. Like sometimes you feel like they're gonna squeeze these things for fan service, but on Tatooine things are so like few and far between. Like Jawas are picking stuff up, trading things that it totally works. That there's an old pod racer that has been converted. I think that worked really well.
It also fits to Marshal. He's also just part-time armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And I love it that he doesn't wear the helmet on the speeder bike. Maybe he should.
Don't give a fuck. Keep no gas, nothing. I'm used to that shit.
Exactly. Yeah, coming back to the Tusken Raiders, I really enjoyed the Tusken Raider scenes, and I think it's a kind of a redemption story, or at least some explanation of what we know about Tuskens. I mean, they're always portrayed as really bad people in terms of, in episode 4, we say, oh, those Tuskens, and Obi-Wan is basically like can fight them off in a certain way. So he sees them as an enemy in that way, and they know that he's that or it seems like that they want to kill somebody or like take what they want. But I think here they took a turn and presented the other side, which is also missing, or is at least is a little bit just only in episode 2 when Anakin goes to the Tusken Raiders village. What are your thoughts on the Tusken Raiders? Do you like them, or are you?
I mean, they did take this turn even in the first run, anyways. When I don't know which episode it was, but when they just stood there, talked to them. So he had already got relationship to them. So he's different. The Mando is different than other people to the.
Yeah, it was episode 5 when he was when he went to Tatooine again.
When they just stood there, it was like good. So and that's the same point here. So he knows them. He speaks perfectly their language. I mean, what kind of language is this, right?
Yeah,
that's the point.
That's also really interesting. They actually that's like a little tidbit but like behind the scenes fact, because they used actual mute and deaf actors, and so they use sign language, actual sign language to communicate. And that's like, in terms of diversity, a very cool move to put people that have this disability in there.
That's a great idea.
And
really
I think this was even more front and center with this episode, and really enjoyed that part that we get to see also all the Tusken Raider gimmicks when they hang out there. We see all the gaffy sticks, like those little with the pointy end, and like they always have in hand. and then we see their weapons. I forgot what the weapon is called, a really long gun, and the a little fun bit was when they had like the bantha, the thing that they ride here. I'm gonna pull that up for the people. They brushed the teeth of the bantha or something like that with a gaffy stick.
Yeah, right. It was a weird scene, but somehow very realistic too.
Yeah,
To
and
take
They
care
made
of
major
their-
points that they care for things as
yeah,
well.
they
Like
care
that's
of
the
their
thing. They're
workhorses
not.
and stuff.
Yeah, they're not just there to kind of like. I mean, they do, and like it's what Mando said. Like, there's a side to them which you will see them fighting, but at the end of the day, they're doing that for a reason. And this kind of embraced the fact of like you need to go and see that reason. But I really, really like the Tusken Raider aspects in this episode, and it kind of played on the Western tropes as well of the outsiders from the town coming in, coming together,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I thought that was a really good idea.
Yeah, and also like the Native American standpoint of this as being like the Tusken Raiders in this case,
Yeah.
and I like this. I think this is what like George Lucas grew up on. That was his idea, like playing that way when like the Tatooine aspect, and I think it turned out really well, especially in this episode. And also like most of the time we see him like up high somewhere and looking down on their victims, let's call it victims in this case, or the people they are stalking in this case. And I think that's a really cool idea. I mean, I have always this image in mind, like all the Indians with their horses standing on the ridge there, and I think that's really, really interesting to see there. Also, I found the idea when the Mando basically advocates for the Tuskens and that they need the town to get rid of the crate. They need to work together. I think that's a really interesting fact here. And also then he mentions in the end, hey, we're gonna have a peace treaty here, until you break it.
Yep.
And I think that's really interesting to see in that regard.
It seems that some drunken miners always starting a fight.
Exactly.
The opposite side.
Yeah, and all this working together and seeing that leads us to the main antagonist in this case, which is the Krayt Dragon. The Krayt Dragon is a really, really big creature, and as we hear here in the lore of Star Wars. I've known the Krayt Dragon for a long time because I used to play in 2003 when Star Wars: The Old Republic came out. I had that in there, and that was really interesting when we met a Krayt Dragon. And it looked totally different from what we see here now. But supposedly the Krayt Dragon has legs, but we scarcely see them. Well, I think you can only, if you stop it somewhere at the right frame, you will see the legs of the Krayt Dragon, because the concept art of Ralph McQuarrie looks different from what we see here. But I think the idea of how it was translated was really well. I really enjoyed it. How are you on the Krayt?
It looks like a zombie sandworm from Dune.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, come on, it's too sandwormy for me. I mean, it's still a great creature, but it's the Krayt. I would have expected some different.
Yeah,
It should have more legs, definitely. Yeah. Even if it looks the same, give him legs.
Yeah. And I think they're there, but the fact that it digs underground was also kind of distracting for me.
Yeah.
Because why does it do that? How does it do that? And second of all, that it is made out to be like the biggest predator here. We've known from episode 6 the Sarlacc pit, and in episode 6 it seemed like there's only one Sarlacc pit, but here we can see that there are more on the planet, and that this one is really big and can be beaten in that kind of way, and that's really interesting to see. How did you like the fighting scenes that we have with the Krayt Dragon?
Like the later ones or the first? The first was no fight.
The first was no fight, yeah.
The first was like...
It was a good introduction.
For the dragon.
Yeah, that was fun though. I mean, I liked it how it still was like Jaws basically, dude, and like was swimming.
And also like Jurassic Park.
Yeah, also
Putting the goat there.
Yeah, that was really cool. I really liked this kind of way how they put it together. But I think it's a good fit for the show and how the concept is here, and I like the fact when we come to our to the spoilery end here.
Oh, now it's getting interesting.
Yeah, exactly, because you all know Boba Fett fell into the Sarlacc pit,
Yeah.
and this is supposedly 1,000 years of digestion in the Sarlacc pit, and so the Krayt Dragon is bested by none other than Din Djarin. They had a hard fight; it was almost over. But by the way, I wondered why didn't they? I thought the whole time that's what they wanted to do: set up a bantha with those explosives and let them eat the bantha.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that right away?
Because then it would be a shorter episode.
Yeah. They had
call.
15 minutes to fill, so
Yeah, exactly.
45
Okay.
minutes.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because this is what basically in the end happened. The Krayt Dragon swallowed the explosives with the bantha and also our Mando, and he basically sent Cobb Vanth away so he can take care of the child, and he's not in any danger. And I really liked what the Mando did. I mean, he was on point, especially when we look at the way he is getting out of the Krayt Dragon, because this is when he in the first episode of season 1, where he shocked the worm I don't know, whatever kind of animal it was, I forgot the name, but he shocked it, so he let go of the spaceship, the Silver Crest, and this time he kind of saved himself in that way, and I think that was really interesting to see. Would you have jumped in there and saved the day? Are you a Mandalorian, full-blooded?
I mean, they made a real big point of showing him in the Beskar armor with all the liquids just running off him rather than doing any kind of erosion or digestion. So if you're a Mandalorian and you know that armor it's going to be fine, yeah, I'll jump in, whatever. Give it a go.
Did he know? I think that was really interesting to see, all the people that get the acid spit off the dragon and died, and then
surely you know about Beskar if you're a Mandalorian, right?
I wasn't sure if the acid is not too much. I mean, the people got melted really fast.
I thought it might be. They really seem to linger on that shot, and I wonder if that's kind of signposting that. Well, that's how Boba's armor got out as well. I don't know whether Boba's is Beskar. It doesn't look shiny, does it? But
I mean, probably you can color it.
Yeah, he colored it in with some green
kind of
crayons.
alien blood thing.
But yeah, exactly. It felt like Alien. That's correct. Very, very Alien homage. That's what I thought too. And I would say, even though with Boba Fett, because he got shot in the head, he got the dented helmet, he got the dent, so it must be Beskar, I would say.
True. And it got deflected. Someone shot him, didn't they? And
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It happened in he was in a fight with Cat Bane from Clone Wars. I think it's also a Clone Wars special that has never been made it to an episode, but it's behind the scenes stuff, and it's canon. It's officially canon.
Oh,
and
really?
This is how he got the dent. So I think you'll find it on YouTube if people want to check it.
Wow. Bounty Hunter special. They should make that into a wrestling thing.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I really love the fact that he got out of this Krayt Dragon. I think this is where it connects with Boba Fett, because getting out of the Krayt Dragon and establishing beforehand how big it is and that it can take out a Sarlacc by eating it, and that obviously Din Djarin made it out of the Krayt Dragon, that Boba can also make it out of the Sarlacc pit. And I think that that's really important for the scene that we have in the end. But before we get there, I wanna mention the Krayt Dragon Pearl that we also see after the Krayt Dragon is defeated. It was really a Sukkah moment. If you all remember episode 2, that's where all it came from. I think it was like a good mix between episode 1 and 2 of the last season. We had like this monster moments, and we have the Suka side quest story, and it turned out really great. And the Krayt Dragon Pearl is worth a lot, and it also tells the people out there, hey, you bested a Krayt Dragon, which is not an easy feat to do.
What are they going to do with that pearl?
They could sell it, makes a lot of money. They could also.
Who's going to buy that?
Maybe
Like-
it's holy to them. You don't
What's
know.
that?
Maybe it's holy to them.
Also
don't
that
know.
way, yeah. I mean, it's probably in their culture. They just gonna keep it around and have it at their village.
Probably for their tribe, for example.
Yeah.
We killed the Krayt.
Exactly, I think so too.
Someone's going to come and steal that for sure.
Now everybody knows.
Exactly.
But do you want to mess with the people that killed the Krayt Dragon?
Yeah. That's the point.
Even though they didn't, it was all Mando.
Yeah, but do other people know?
No.
There you go.
Long
there you
time ago. Stories from another other rim. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows? Shit.
Yeah, and I really like in the end of that scene when the Marshal Cobb Vanth basically trades in the armor and gives it to him, and like to Din, and says, "Hey, tell your what did it say? Tell the Mandalorians I didn't break it," or something like that. And so he's like scared of the people. So you can also see again how much this kind of armor means to the creed of the Mandalorians. And that's also a very interesting fact there. And yeah, also the Mando, by the way, he takes a good chunk of Krayt Dragon meat.
Yeah.
I wonder how it tastes. Is it the Kobe and Wagyu beef of Tatooine?
It's worth more than the pearl.
It's worth more than a pull.
Fat meat on Tatooine.
Yeah, probably.
Is the child going to eat that, do you think?
Yeah,
Is that gonna-
I mean, it was about to, right?
Yeah, I think so. He'd eat anything. He eats those frogs and like all sorts.
Yeah,
He's constantly hungry.
So yeah, it makes the question: what eats Yoda?
Exactly. I wonder
Great
why.
dragon.
Those early years we see him, and then it's like you're going to his whatever fridge or cantina and orders crazy stuff.
Probably. Hey, look, I get 2 frogs, please. And he had to do 3 hands, 3 fingers, right? 3 frogs, please.
He's always ordering like bone broth, and I bet like,
Yeah.
Baby Yoda's just like, oh, I wanted frog.
Exactly. Love it. But yeah, so speaking, and when we see Cobb Vanth riding into the sunset, we see a very, very cool image, which is of this guy who is a bald-headed dude looking into the sunset of Tatooine, and we can see a Tusken Raider gun and a gaffy stick, which is interesting for me because this guy is, spoiler, Boba Fett. He's played by Tamara Morrison, who was the original Jango Fett, and he was basically the clone troopers. And yeah, that was my question here. By the way, is it already confirmed that it is Boba Fett, or could it be another clone?
Why? I wanted to say there's thousands and thousands of people in this age who looks like him.
Exactly.
Oh wait, not this age. Not this age. It must be him. That's the point.
Yeah,
The others are double age.
yeah. Age is a problem
that.
because we see him like that when he is. Boba Fett was pretty young, and all the clones were a little older. But I don't know. We don't know how fast they age. So it
There were
could
10
be.
years difference.
There's, I mean, but like, if the genes are good, you know what they say, black don't crack, this kind of stuff, and have it.
It's like 7 years, or 5 or 7 years after the second Death Star, so it must be Boba. It's exact.
I think
age
so. I
of
think so
what
too.
Django was in Episode 2. Or would be older a little bit now too, of course. So it makes sense. It must be Boba. It's on Tatooine, and like everything fits, of course. Why doing extra stuff?
Yeah,
They made
nobody
such
needs them. It's like-
such a big deal of it. Like it has to be. I don't think they would do a
but
misdirect.
imagine, because you haven't seen Clone Wars, Mark, but there's a clone Commander Rex. If that would be Rex or something like that, that would be crazy to see. In that terms, there would also be something out there, but I think everybody's right. This is this is Boba
Yeah,
Fett.
but then it's such that would be, I think, too crazy. Then it's just a crazy nerd of all nerds series. Like you also want to have average viewers too, so
Exactly.
that they like to see their main characters,
Yeah, I
but
think.
don't have played every game and read every book. Like.
Yeah, you're right. I think so too. It's gonna be Boba Fett, and that's like really interesting to see. And I wonder what he's doing. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he tracking the hero? What are you guys' speculations on
He's
Boba Fett?
now. He's like Obi-Wan as a Mandalorian. He's even not a Mandalorian. That's first of all, but he's a nomad now. I think the Javas found him and just ripped him off the armor, let him die in the desert because he had no power anymore when he escaped. And then the Tusken somehow picked him up and he go with them for a while maybe because that's why he wearing the Tusken armor.
Yeah.
Like this Scarfy stick.
Yeah.
That makes. I mean, oh, he just killed the Tusken and took the stick. Okay, it could be too.
Could be too.
But still, but it looks more like he. I mean, he never left Tatooine after that. He's still just walking around there and looking what's happening, in the corner.
Yeah.
And you see there's a real Mandalorian. He missed it. It was on a Java sand crawler. I mean, like, so why he's still there anyways? And just he looks like Obi-Wan kind of nomad now.
Yeah, it's like it's like he's an exile maybe as well. I mean, looking at it. And since we know it's Mandalorian is a creed, so you don't have to be born on Mandalore, I think that comes in as well with Boba Fett's backstory, being born on Concord Dawn. No, was he born on Concord Dawn on the moon, or I'm not sure right now, but I think somewhere he's not really from Mandalore. That's definitely a thing, and I really loved this kind of cameo. But do you guys think, or who thinks he's going to be in the next episode, or when is he going to show up again?
That's interesting. I think we will not see him next. I think maybe in the third. I think they will take their time to get people on hold. So they will do different more with the child now next episode, and then it coming maybe in the third or even fourth. That is showing up somehow. Maybe just a shadow. You see him very shortly, but not the direct contact will not happening next episode. I don't think so.
Okay, I think so too. But I wonder because if Boba Fett is in here, he would be a big antagonist for the series in terms of storytelling. I wonder how he plays or he factors in with Moff Gideon, and I also wonder if he's a good guy because he worked for the Empire.
Also, yeah, it's also interesting. Maybe he changed his mind in the desert.
Yeah,
be alone, and then maybe he just somehow they will get direct contact, of course.
Yeah.
And then maybe they fight, and then maybe they find out that they could do something for each other or something like that, and then fight Moff Gideon, stuff like that. That could happen.
Okay, so what would you say, or both of you, you can say one thing. What would you think Boba Fett has to teach Baby Yoda or Din Djarin?
Question again? What teach or
what could he teach? Yeah, what could he teach them? If somebody has something, go ahead. Nothing. Okay. Because then I give you my take.
Yeah.
I think Boba is going to teach Baby Yoda and Din Djarin more ways of the dark side. He's going to pull him to the dark side. It's going to get a little grim, I think, and he's going to learn some dirty trick.
Boba?
From Boba. That's what Boba's going to teach him.
I don't know. I think he will not teach at all. He will just first know what you can do with them first, and then he will probably stay on Tatooine. He will not do any. He doesn't have any goals in this case. I think he just want to know what's happening, that nothing goes wrong again in his life, so that he can get his calmness back, what he already had. Because he doesn't look like he was like really looking for something. He just wanted to check out that it's silence in his hood. That's
Okay.
how he looked behind, and then also walked back. So it wasn't like he wasn't like spying on him.
I'm sure, like, if he'd have wanted his armor back, he probably would have got it back by now, right? Like,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
maybe
the mask, for
so I
example.
think maybe he's
Yeah.
just got a little bit, living amongst, or maybe he hasn't been living amongst Tusken Raiders, but we've kind of seen how they've been humanized a little bit. Maybe Boba's gone the same kind of way.
Boba's turned
It might,
soft.
well, it might be because like that's another theme in Star Wars, isn't
Yeah.
it? Redemption. So
Exactly. Yeah.
it could be.
Yeah. All right. Speaking on terms of the first season, we have the scene with Fennec Shand. That was what was played by Ming-Na, and she died. She was like the sniper where they went there.
Supposedly died.
Supposedly died, exactly. That would be my question, because we can hear somebody approaching the body, and who do you think it is? Is it Cobb or is it Boba?
I'm gonna say Cobb because they made something of him entering the cantina, the bar, and you could hear like the spurs when he walked in. Then, I think it would be that.
Okay,
but
Mark?
I mean it's kind of
sorry.
50-50. But if I was gonna say which one, I would say, well, you heard the Spurs with Cobb coming in, like I'll go for that.
Okay, Mark, what do you think?
I really don't know. But it makes sense what he's saying, that could be Cobb, because you needed also some actions so that you're getting more. Because there's not much time in one episode for just one character to build it, and then you have a few more things relate to him, and then bigger picture about this dude in that short amount of time you have to tell the story. So it's possibly, yeah, that is in this case. Because Boba have a big story. So there's nothing much more to explain, just new stories, what nobody knows. Somebody old stuff is totally everybody knows about.
Okay.
I think it was a good tease from the first season that they would be introducing Boba to come. So they kind of put that in there as a little hint.
Yeah.
And people could speculate, which is obviously great.
Is that maybe the point where he put off his armor and put it maybe on her? As an idea. Then Boba Fett approached her with the armor, took it off, and gave it to her, basically, so to stay dead.
Could be.
And the Yavas found it that way.
Maybe. I still like the idea of him going into the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, you probably did, but got out and
then being eaten by the Krayt dragon, because that's the predator. So we think the Sarlacc pit is this great, there's only one, as you were saying, and it's like the place of doom. We now know it can easily be eaten. Okay. And I tend to think, because of that whole thing with the dragon acid being impenetrable, Beskar being impenetrable to it, that maybe Boba was kind of saved by that, by being in the Krayt dragon's digestive system for ages. And then just like the Mandalorian got out, maybe he got out in the same kind of way. And then he was kind of around the desert, dying. The Jawas came and stripped him or something, and he's had to find his way ever since. I don't know. That's the little storyline I have in my head.
Okay. Cool. I want to talk about Baby Yoda before we have the last couple of questions. Baby Yoda, didn't happen much with Baby Yoda in terms. Did you like it the way it was, or did you miss some Baby Yoda action?
I mean, there was one nice scene, but that was already in the trailer. So
yeah, but I mean, he had cute scenes. That's true, but story wise, we didn't get that much further.
There was nothing.
But that happened in the first season. There wasn't that much narrative push on Baby Yoda, really. It was kind of all suggested really early on. But then he was kind of like the sidekick. But I was afraid that after the first season they were gonna turn it too much towards Baby Yoda and maybe cheapen it a little bit. But I think they got the they judged it just right.
Yeah, it was a
It's
good
like
balance,
little reaction shots, which were cute, not overdone.
Yeah.
He was cool. Like when he was on the speeder, his little face was like awesome,
Yeah,
and the ears
with his
flapping
ears,
around.
yeah. I love that too.
Yeah, that was cool.
Okay. Before you guys gonna go, I would love to hear from each of you. What was your favorite scene from this episode? James, you want to go first?
It's really tough because it just seemed it flowed so well. Like the 55 minutes flew by, and it all just
It
seemed
did, yeah.
really well put together. That's another thing. I think the direction, the editing just went up another level for this. It seemed like really solid. It didn't seem like a TV show, or it didn't seem like something trying to be more than a TV show. It just seemed like really high quality production.
For me personally, I have to say it was the like seeing Boba Fett actually looking into the sunset and turning around.
It's definitely the most iconic scene of this episode. That's for sure. No matter if you like it or not, it's the most iconic scene.
Yeah.
But I liked it also, like the stupid Tuscan, like why he waited so long with the banter there, the goat banter, from Jurassic Park, just to get eaten. It's stupid. You could just cry and run away.
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite, actually.
Yeah,
just putting that banter there, and then that just running, and the way that they did that with the camera, like still just from so far away, that was done really well.
Yeah, great times, definitely. I really enjoyed it as well. And now let's just rate this episode from 0 to 10. Just don't put it in perspective. Just rate it as an episode itself. I would definitely give this episode 9 out of 10.
Same, 9.
There must be always some air. I say 8.
All right. Perfectly fine. We're going to see how that's going to work out. We're going to average out the show, or the season, definitely, after the season is over. And next week, we're going to talk about episode 2 that comes out on this Friday, as we are talking right now. I mean, we talked a little bit earlier, but the episodes come out every Friday. And so you have seen it all. You can talk with spoilers in this episode. That's why we push it back a week. And next episode we're gonna have Eileen Steinbach, aka SG Posters, on, and we're gonna talk with her, James and I, with her about episode 2. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, James, for co-hosting this with me, and thank you, Mark, for jumping on as our first guest for the Bounty Puck. And everybody tune in next week when we're back with episode 2. Take care, guys.